All right, so another video about reflections of the week because I really think it's great for me to just let things go as far as some of the things that I see and deal with on a day-to-day basis and see if it can help you. So this past week, I had two very different clients that I met with and started working on estate planning matters for. And you would think that they have nothing in common as far as their situations and estate planning because people always say, well, if I don't have much in assets, do I really need to do X, Y, or Z? And it's really not about the overall total and assets that you have, in my opinion, but what are you trying to do? Which brings me to a thought I had as far as an experience I had in surrogate's court where there was real estate. And that was really the only asset in the estate. But the asset passed through probate, and the will had a person receiving that asset. The will was done with questionable intentions because there was a friendly person in this person's life who became friendlier with the person. And it really did seem like there was some undue influence as far as a will being changed right before major surgery on, it seemed, the condition that this person would have a place, a person to help them after surgery, and therefore his home would be transferred upon death to this helper. And so what is that worth to people? Those types of scenarios where, let's say that real estate is $75,000, but at the end of the day, we have to go through some major trauma when it comes time to probate, and or people are just incredibly disgruntled and unhappy with what happened to this person toward the end of his life. So it's all about really engineering what is going to work for you depending on your goals, no matter what you think is worth it as far as a total asset value. Because I can tell you, let's just say that person had transferred his home to a lifetime trust, had a trustee or a co-trustee helping him, or just being the sole trustee if it wasn't him during his life, so that that type of possibility was off the table, didn't even occur. And we wouldn't have had the trauma, the complete disarray at time of probate, because what happened was, and in my opinion, quite unfortunate. Now take that back to my week, and I can think of these two examples. One, where the total asset value may not be what you would consider worthwhile to set up a trust for. And the other, well, it's, yeah, we're definitely there. We're setting up trust. The question is, do we really want to go there? And what are the goals with trust planning? So for the first instance, I know this person wants to make sure that in the event he needs some help during his life, he's got the appropriate person handling his asset. Kind of just like what I talked about with that experience through surrogate's court. But he's well aware that this could be a possibility during his life, and he wants to set up planning in place to protect problems for himself and for his loved ones and for those he wants to benefit. And then on the other extreme, this is a situation where we have multiple properties along with a business interest, and we're thinking about taxable estate concerns. And we have a whole host of wonderful estate planning options. But even with that, we need to get clear on, do you want to set up a lifetime trust? It's my opinion, it would be very beneficial. And it's something that would be great with the real estate and the business interests. And we can go on and talk about it further, and also think about arrangements in regard to taxable estate concerns. But you see, it's not just the overall value of the property, the estate that you have, but what are your goals? What do you want to do? And I can tell you, in both situations, these people are very tuned into this idea of making things more tolerable, making sure their goals are met, making sure the loved ones that they want to benefit are going to be able to benefit without further problems and delays. And they're really geared up for this idea of doing what it takes, because trust planning is really going the distance. You do want to make sure that you've got your goals in your head, you're working through those with your estate planning attorney, and then can go from there. So just when I think about it again in my head, I've got these two different situations, but both are so aware of what their goals are and can understand how a trust can be so very beneficial. Very different situations. I just really can't emphasize that enough, because I am so tired of hearing, I don't know if I have enough. Is it worthwhile? Well, let's go back to my first thought. When you have even $75,000 in real estate, but you could either lose it all, or somebody can come and influence that person and totally change everything. And then go along with that, all the emotional toll and everything that goes along with that type of lack of planning. What is that worth? What is it worth to keep the family intact? What is it worth so that grandchildren know that you intended to benefit them or plan for them? What is it worth that you think about divorcing spouses and being aware that there's other people who can meddle in and influence the main characters, and there's strings sort of attached in everyone's lives, and all of the ideas that come into play with the planning that we do. It's not just about what is the value of your estate. It's one of those pet peeves, I guess you could say, of mine. So these are some random thoughts, and I just really am hoping to be able to do this more, because I think I might get to more of what I'm trying to say by just letting it go a bit. So I do hope this helps. This is Ruth George with Ruth P. George Law, PLLC, Trust and Estate Attorney. This video, as with any video I do put out, is for educational purposes only. It does not establish an attorney-client relationship, and I hope to see you on another video.